Welcome all to Off the Cuff, and today I'm once again very happy to have the director of Ramayana that is presented by Mount Madonna School, and this is the 46th year.
Yes.
Exactly. Correct. So Chelsea Ortones, welcome to Off the Cuff.
Thank you so much for having me in your beautiful new studio.
Oh yeah, thank you. Glad you likes it. And Chelsea, I've been interviewing you for the past at least 2 or 3 years, I remember, and it's such a pleasure to talk to, anyone from Mount Madonna School, especially doing this amazing production every year with so much of passion and so much of depth. And the best part of this is it is very unusual, yet so traditional. We Indians always, we all know about Ramayana and the story of Ramayana from a very traditional perspective. We have seen Ram Leelas while growing up and enjoyed them thoroughly. So this is something unique, something spectacular, yet very Indian. And to say the least, it is done by all non-Indians, and the entire school takes part. So Chelsea, before I go on and on, please tell me a little bit about what's going on this year and what can people expect.
Well, thank you so much for that gracious introduction. We are really honored to be featured on your show for the past couple of years, and to continue to tell this story that's been told for thousands of years, and to have the honor to do so is an incredible privilege, and is something that every year and every moment that we spend preparing for this show, we're learning more and more. Our senior class is actually 6 students, and this year we went to India together and spent time in the north, in the province that you're from, actually, for a bit, and then down in Haridwar at Sri Ram Ashram, which is the sister school of Mount Madonna School. And there our kids learned so much more about the characters that they will be portraying. They were completely surrounded by the vibrancy of Indian culture, and also learning the profound acceptance that the Indian population has for other cultures. So in alignment with that, we feel ever more that us retelling this story feels right and harmonious. And we ask, for as much feedback and support as we can from this community, so we can continue to make this show one of integrity. And this year, wow, I'm blown away by our cast and their diligence. This morning I was working with our youngest cast members, which is our preschool through 2nd grade. They're the forest animals and staffing monkeys that encounter Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita in the forest, and they are so reverent at their young age. We practice asana together and practice focus. We also practice being chaotic, and then we go from chaos to focus. And when it comes to Ramayana, I demand that respect and that focus, and the kids know why. And that why is really helping to make this show something special. And I really hope that people are able to take their children to this show, take your grandparents, anyone. This show is for any age. The story is for any age. And with all of the lights and specter of it, you can enter for that, right? You can come through the doors to see this kind of Broadway-style production, but then you stay because of the depth that the story is in and of itself. It's not about us, it's about the story. So that's all I have to share for now.
Very well said. And I've been backstage last year also, and I see how you come together, and you're talking about integrity and focus and chaos, and this is the first time I heard practicing chaos. And then, which is so important. And I see these, preschoolers with all the energy, but they are focused there. And you do the chants and you do the breathing, and you are in it like a community, and I guess there are like 100 students there from kindergarten to high school, right,
A
participating?
little under 200.
Oh.
Sometimes we have over 200, but
Wow.
right now, yeah, we're under 200, and it's every single student is playing a part on stage in this production.
Oh, okay. And as a director, how do you manage this chaos?
Well, really, it's interesting. I brought a
Oh,
little chaos helper. Sorry
Uh-huh.
if this sounds shuffly. And
No,
but
that's
I
fine.
actually brought Baba Haridas's
Oh.
Ashtanga Yoga Primer.
Okay.
And this helps manage chaos. You know, especially toe stand, something like this, which is ironically the position that Robin was in, you know, in his practice of devotion.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we can make these shapes, but really it's that inner silence and that inner peace that we are aiming to achieve. So we can actually be in a position of chaos, but have inner focus and inner peace. So we experiment with that a lot in performing arts. I have these commands, military commands, that actually I took from Baba Haridas, who taught it to Sri Ram Mandir School, which is on the same property of Sri Ram Ashram. And they do military commands of at ease, attention, at ease, attention. So going from being at ease, you know, just relaxed, into attention. And that's something that the entire school, they abide by those commands. And it's fun for them too, because to be in unity is something that I believe us humans crave,
Yeah.
right? That's why we like to go to rock concerts or even to some extent go to war, because you're in unison. But I offer to the students that they have a unique opportunity in invocation, for example, the first piece of our show, to sing Jai Jai Ma all together, and that resonance just feels like magnetism. And even doing military commands, it's a moment of unity. And then I break it up by saying, okay, banana. Then they lay on the floor in the banana asana. So they're on their toes, so to speak, in terms of what I'm going to call for, but they all respond. And so, yes, this opportunity of putting together a school-wide show that has such depth just is such a canvas for teaching innumerable lessons, both to the students, but also for me as director, someone who is a devotee of Hanuman myself, and is learning more and more of the depth of this story of the Ramayana. It's a well. I say that, but it's a well. You know, you can go for the battles, go for the dragon, but you could also go for the lessons of the evolution of consciousness, and Hanuman being the breath, and just breathing and knowing that Hanuman is there in the breath. It's magical, and the students are being exposed to that at the level in which they are ready for, and the audience is exposed to that and the level by which they are ready for. So it's such an experience of grace, the way that the sages have embedded these lessons in this story that has passed through the testament of time, through all different class structures, and that this story can still be told in its just depth. Right, so yeah, fangirl.
wow, wonderful answer. And I was just listening to a podcast, an actor playing Ravana in a I think another production in India, and he's a writer and a poet too. And he said, in Hindi, he said that Ram ko mano nahi, Ram ki mano. So that's more important कि आप राम जो कहते हैं वो मानो, को मानना तो सभी मानते हैं. So what I'm listening today from Chelsea is exactly that, कि वो राम की मान रही हैं. और the way she is talking about the story, about Ramayana, about her connection with Hanuman, who, like you're saying, that's leading her to what she's doing. And it's so commendable to see this entire school, which is non-Indian, to come together and put in that dream forward of their founder, Baba Haridas ji, and do it so well and in such a huge way. So kudos to the entire team. Kudos. And Chelsea, it's always just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I think I'll be coming again for the fourth time or something, but it's never enough. So I will advise, or I'll just tell everybody to, if you've not seen it, or if you've seen it, just come and enjoy it. It's spectacular, and it has a lot of you can tell me what all can they expect visually on stage.
Well, thank you so much for your words, and I want to emphasize that the lesson that Hanuman has so many lessons that
Yes.
us humans can learn from in terms of our evolution, from the monkey mind, the monkey being, to having just the aspiration toward pure consciousness or Ram consciousness. But one lesson that I told my students this morning was about Hanuman's humility, and how, when he reached up to eat the sun and was smited by the thunderbolt, and then, his name being, I'm preaching to the choir, so sorry, but, he is the symbol of humility. So
Yeah.
that's something that all of us as non-Indians, we do have a couple students who are their ancestors are from Indian heritage, but the majority of the students are non-Indian, is for us to embrace the story with humility and always be receptive and open to feedback. So if any of you listeners have anything to contact us about, we are absolutely open ears. This is a story for all of us to collaborate, to keep alive as a human family, as one human family, and there's no grasping or attachment to the way that we've been telling it. But the way we have been telling it is with a fire-breathing dragon, and which is part of Meghnad's transformation. And of course, our Ravan costume is amazing. It was designed by the faces of the person who played our first iteration of Ravan. We also have staffing at all levels, from second grade through 12th grade. Students have been learning staffing in the tradition that Baba Haridas has taught us. We have our invocation has a routine that is Bharatanatyam, and very well attuned to each mudra, each eye glance is on purpose. We try to be as conscious as possible as we move through these intentional motions. What else? I mean, it's a wonder. Each scene has its vibrancy and has its element of the caste in it. Our choreographer is out of this world. She is so dedicated, and I must say she is my sister, actually, by blood, and she is so dedicated to making the abduction of Sita just feel real, feel all of these tensions, feeling that our demon army is putting up a fight, but that our monkey army will succeed. So there's that hope. Our monkeys are so high energy.
Absolutely. It is just adorable, and it's, it has humor, it has a message, it's poignant, it's intense. I think it has everything that a story like Ramayana should happen. And in the end, it also has reverence. It's done in a very reverent way. You can see that in Chelsea's voice, and it's just magical. So all I'll say is, do go and check it out. Chelsea, where can they buy the tickets and everything about that?
Yeah, so logistically, we have tickets for sale online. We use a website called Brown Paper Tickets. They're a nonprofit, which is very cool. So if you go on our website, mountmadonnaschool.org/Ramayana, or just go on Google and type in Brown Paper Tickets Ramayana 2025, and it will be right there. We're hoping that, it will be a full house every night, so please go ahead and just hop on getting those tickets. Invite your cousins, your grandparents, your neighbor, anyone that would be interested in seeing a spectacular show with an even more timeless message. And we really look forward to collaborating with anyone who has any pointers or just feedback to join our community, because this only exists because of community.
Yeah, and the dates and the venue?
Right. June 5th through 8th, and it's here in San Jose. We're in San Jose right now at the San Jose Mexican Heritage Cultural Center off of Alum Rock. So yeah, very close to this area. It's in the Bay Area, so make it a fun little trip, and we hope to see you there. It's June 5th through 8th.
Well done. And Chelsea, one thing I just wanted to ask you, like, you've been to India and you said it's always life changing and you love being, visiting India. It's spiritual, and I can see you're spiritually inclined, and you practice yoga, you practice the asanas, you do meditation. What about India has impacted you, as a person who has not, is not born there, is not traditionally Indian, something that, because I would love to know your perspective. We are, we have connection, we have parents, we have family, so we will connect to. But what for you, made the connection?
Thank you for asking that. The connection could be phrased as ineffable or impossible to describe, but also it is possible because there's so much obvious beauty, there's obvious spirituality, there's obvious reverence for the sanctity of being alive, life in general, life of the water. The water is a deity, the cows are deities. There's this reverence for life that is so obvious, you can't escape it. And I feel that when I'm in India, there's no worry. We might be in traffic with tuk-tuks and goats and
Yes.
sheep crossing the road, but there is this harmony that exists and within the chaos. And chaos isn't a bad thing. We came from chaos, and I feel like the acknowledgement of truth in all of its forms exists there before your eyes in India. Whereas here in the States, it feels a lot like we are, a landmass that was just divided and conquered and labeled. But there's this fluidity in India, I feel, and the colors, and just to see everywhere you turn, there's a shrine. There's money spent to honor deities in these elements of the life force, rather than statues of, maybe war.
Historical,
war,
yeah. Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
To speak just shortly about that. And yeah, I feel that we can all pick these things that have lasted throughout the years, throughout our whole world, the international human community, and really synthesize to have a new earth, to have a humanity that is joined by our highest inclinations rather than our lowest. And when you're surrounded viscerally by that high vibration, with that acknowledgement of the sanctity of life, then you're just naturally inclined to go up, 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 rather than pulled down, 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 into war, into stress, into worry. So that felt sense of higher vibrational quality is echoed through the Ganga, through the chanting of these sacred mantras. From this trip in India, felt inspired to study the Chalisa, and I've been reciting it every day. I have Chalisa study group tonight, and learning about the neuroscience behind the Chalisa. I mean, it's all connected, and it's just different words for what now is recognized as science, scientific truth. So we have to point back to the masters. They've left us these Easter eggs that maintain today that all of us in humanity desperately can benefit from. So, sorry, I will take a breath.
I need to take a breath too. This was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And coming from you, it's even, it makes me ponder and makes me think that, world is one. We just need to keep our hearts and minds open to all cultures. You have to find beauty in all and places, and it's just amazing to hear that. And one thing, because you've been associated with Ramayana for 4 years now, and I see the depth that you are in as far as the scriptures are concerned, or this old mythology is concerned. Which character do you think you relate to the most, and in today's world, which character do you think can show us the way, when we are dealing with so much of chaos in leadership, in morality, in our thought processes, and that could be due to so many things. So something about that.
So, of course, the ego is tempted to say, oh, yes, Ram.
Okay.
But I want to just say Robin. Robin is who I relate to, and Robin is who I believe we can learn from. And I say that because of the posturing, the ability to stand on one toe, and to earn boons from a god, and then to be entirely pulled to that downward energy. Everything that's in that downward energy is the energy in which Robin moves. The 10 heads, the greed, the ruthlessness to pursue one's own agenda, the pursuit of fame, of wealth, of splendor, all of these things. And when we reach the end of the story, where is Robin? Robin is on the floor saying, thank you, Ram, for freeing me of my sins as he's dying. So if we just take that story and see where Robin is alive in our own bodies and our own minds, are we attracted to that shiny thing there? Are we attracted to wealth? Do we want another wife or another wife or another wife? Do we want to steal our person's wife? Whatever it is, it ... comes down to death is freedom from the ego. And if we just aim to breathe Hanuman in and aspire to be a devotee of Ram consciousness, then the pain and misery and suffering of death of the ego is just not part of our story. So I feel we are in times of Robin. We are of egocentrism, of pursuing one's own pleasures and comforts and safety over our whole human community. And we see that in the Ramayana, how that story ends for that person, and how much sadness it shrivels, like in Wicked, that play where the wicked witch shrivels into the dust. So good prevails. Lean into good, and we have such great teachers in the Ramayana that can guide us the way. And to recognize the Robin in you is to recognize truth, as we are mortal beings. So it was an epiphany of me to realize, wow, I was Robin in that relationship. Wow. And it kind of puts that evil way, it compartmentalizes it, and you put that identity outside of you. You witness that identity and know, I am not that. I am not that. And I think that recognition will promote healing and recognition that we all have that element in us. And if we're able to recognize that, then we can have just a sea of compassion.
Oh, wow. Your answers are just amazing me. And see, I was saying I'm going to look at this, but just your talk, I'm not even looking at the questions which I wrote, because your depth in all this is just amazing to hear, and incredible, I have to say. And you're so right about ego, and I think as humans we are closer to Ravana than Ram, and that's where our awareness comes through. Do we recognize that? Do we recognize our ego and then try to rein it? And I always actually enjoy looking at the Ravana part also in your production, because that's the character that hits you, and makes you think and makes you question in the entire story. And then again, he was, like you're saying, he was the most brightest scholar, devotee of Shiva, who had given him so many boons. So, and also, Ramayana also tells you to recognize and honor your enemies also, like Ravana did. Yeah. So I could go on and all, Chelsea, but I think this was so lovely talking to you. And thank you. Namaste. I will urge everybody, kids or no kids, adults, do check out the 46th Annual Ramayana by Mount Madonna School at in San Jose. Is it the Mexican Heritage Theater, June 5th, 6th, 7th.
And 8th.
And 8th. So you have a lot of shows and a lot of days. So pick one and just buy your tickets. Like she said, brown paper tickets at mountmadonnaschool.org. Please show up there. I vouch for it that you won't be disappointed, and the kids just love it. The monkeys and the dragon and the entire musical production is leaves you breathless, I have to say. Thank you, Chelsea, once again. It was a pleasure talking to you, and Off the Cuff will always support this. Bye-bye, take care and be well.
Thank you.